Mancha! Welcome to Nonna's Gluten-Free Kitchen. Today I'm going to try something a little different. Old family recipe from my mom. We're going to have veal marsala, but I do additional vegetables to it. First of all, I already put the ingredients in my flour. I used minced onion, of course, salt, and pepper, and we cannot forget my ague e ollo. That is from Trader Joe's. Now you get your veal, you put salt on the veal. Make sure you put a nice amount of salt on your veal so that it has all the flavor. Then once we do that, we get our veal, we put it in our flour, and we press down, but we press down on the veal to make sure we got good coverage, because what we have to do is we have to fry the veal. So when I have my family over, they love this, and I usually make a lot more. So we've got our veal breaded and ready to fry. Now, my toppings are going to be different. Usually veal marsala is marsala with mushrooms, not marshmallow, and they love it. So what I've done here is I've got my onions, carrots, and I ground up some parsley. And then I got my mushrooms, white mushrooms, grinded them up a little bit, chopped them up smaller. And now what we need to do is put salt, a lot of mushrooms, salt, pepper, because we make sure that our stuffing has enough layers of flavor for the meat. So then we add garlic powder, we add the minced onions, and then we add our ollo and olive from. Give it a good mix. We'll put this a little bit closer so you can see my mixture. Now, what we need to do is I always cook this first because the flour from the meat leaves a lot of residue in the pan. Okay, so what we do is we fill our pan with our olive oil, and while I put it on high a little bit to get it warmed up. Then I take my mixture of ingredients that we made, we put them into the pan, and in this, what happens is we actually end up layering. We layer the meat with this vegetables. Veal marsala, they only use mushrooms, and a lot of times they're bigger. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get, I'm gonna just sprinkle some chicken bouillon in here and let it simmer on through. It doesn't need to be cooked because we're going to put it in the oven. So what you want to do, you just want to saute for just maybe a few minutes, because the flavor, when you bake it, will come out. Then, once we're pretty much sauteed, you can see here, the onions I put in a little bigger chunk because I like those. I bought them from Trader Joe's. They're already parsley I chopped myself, along with the onions and the mushrooms. I have to put in my marsala, but I put enough in here to get it a little extra zest of flavor. I will take this, I'll put it in the bowl. This would help if I shut the gas off. Goes into the bowl, and we're ready for the next leg of this wonderful meal. Now we're gonna fry the meat. So what I'm doing is I'm putting it into the hot oil as I layer the pan. Then I cook it for approximately 30 minutes. I check it. We wanna just brown it because, like I said, so we kind of look at it, and as you can see, we have like a golden brown texture to it. You can see that. Gonna add my other pieces here. Here we go. We will go on to the next step, and we'll put it in a pan, see, and you can see that it bubbles up with the flour. You just brown it. If you cook it too much, then the meat becomes tough. So we want it tender that you could cut it with a fork. We used our gluten-free flour, and you cannot tell the difference. As long as you put enough spices and ingredients in the flour. Now we get our spray. We have to spray our pan. Then I take one layer of our filling and I put it on the bottom, just so the meat has something to absorb itself on. You take your veal and you place it on top, like so. Then what I usually do, then I put another layer on top, like this. We put in the rest of our vegetables, our carrots, our parsley, our mushrooms, on top of the meat, top of the veal. Then, last but not least, this juice is amazing. So we take the juice and I just kind of pour it a little bit all over. So now the meat actually cooks inside of the juices. So now I'll bake this at 400 for 30 minutes and mancha mancha.